You on Monday.
I'm shoeless. We can't see that here, but that's
no.
okay.
You are shoeless Joe Jackson. So you will be live tweeting. What is your Twitter handle?
Erin Elmore, ErinElmore, just like my name.
Just like my name.
Yes.
I like that. Very nice. So she'll be live tweeting during the show. You guys can ask her questions. You can write in. You can debate, and it's going to be a fun show because why? It's all the ladies.
Ladies get funky. And no mean tweets. Just keep it,
Yeah, let's keep it calm and very
Let's
civil.
be polite.
Let's be debates. That's exactly classy. The capital C, not a K. We don't want classy. We have a great conversation for you guys. A starter. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was just called out by a USA Today editor. He is a professor of sociology at the University of Virginia, saying that he thinks The Rock and his wife should get married to act as somewhat quote-unquote role models for other people because they just announced their second child is coming in the spring.
Okay.
So what we're trying to find out from you, the viewer, is this smart? Is this his business? Is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? Do you agree with him? Do you think marriage is somewhat becoming less a priority, as you've seen in somewhat the Finlands, the Denmarks, the Sweden, the Netherlands, that they seem to have much more partnership than marriage? Is that finding its way?
Well, I have no personal feelings, but in terms of like putting on my legal hat, in terms of being in a hospital setting, which you probably are when you're having a baby, there are reasons to be married. Even if it's a husband and wife, there's certain rights you have, some decisions you can make for your spouse. And if a child is brought into the world, The Rock might not have certain hospital privileges. So I do see.
It's a good point I hadn't thought of.
Benefits to being married.
And tax purposes. If
tax, law, health care decisions. So for those reasons, especially when you're having a baby, it probably makes sense. But personal feelings, So
you're not like strongly like, everyone needs to get married if they have a kid. It's not, because some people are that they're like, they don't believe in two people cohabitating is what they call it. I find it to be, marriage to be of much less import and priority.
My husband and I, we were trying to have a baby and we got pregnant, and when we did, we decided to get married.
So you weren't married, but when you were trying?
No.
Wow, so a lot of...
I don't know if I should say.
Well, yeah, you're being honest, and that's Andy Bloom agrees with you. It's not necessary to be married to have a baby.
Well, we did get married though.
Well, right, and that was important to you.
Yeah.
Now, Doris Watford Shoemaker says it's totally
everything we just said, but I do think there are good reasons to get married legally,
and for almost financial. But you're not holding on to it as this institution that we need.
Well, I think I would hold on to it like that if the divorce rate wasn't.
I was just going to say that.
Clearly, I'm just being a realist here. I think it's important. I personally would make that choice. I would tell other people to make that choice for a lot of reasons, but I see that people aren't listening because they're 50% divorce.
That's exactly right. And does this...
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is in the kids' movie Moana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's a family guy on his Instagram. He's very good with kids. And
he should just do it.
I think he should maybe not do it and show that that's perfectly capable too. Ethan is wearing his DBL Genius t-shirt.
I gotta go.
Live. Michelle Obama dishes on Donald Trump.
Welcome to Daily Boss Live. It's Friday, and we got an all-female power panel today. All-female power panel, that's right. All right, let's get right into it. Speaking of power females, former First Lady Michelle Obama, president, and his administration. Here's what she said.
It was sort of like having the good parent at home, It feels fun to some for now because we can eat candy all day and, stay up late.
Erin does not.
Well, first of all, Barack Obama was the one, wasn't he talking about smoking pot and ripping cigarettes? Donald Trump's, first of all, Donald Trump.
But that wasn't him as a parent. That was him as growing up, and that's okay.
Well, Donald Trump's children, all of them. You don't see them stumbling out of nightclubs. You don't see them with mugshots. You see them leading companies, working in industries, working in charity capacity.
But which industries? The Trump industries?
Well, I know they've done a lot of charity work.
Okay.
And Tiffany just graduated from school. They're all good kids. And you can't say the same for Barack Obama's children.
Oh, really? You can't?
I don't know. Playing underage beer pong and smoking cigarettes sounds like a good idea to you.
Have you been a teenager? First of all, Jen and Tonic has been extremely...
She was smoking cigarettes and drinking underage.
She's been a role model.
No
and she
role
has
model
been
for my
without
child.
scandal.
No, that's a lie. That's not accurate. It's factually unsound. It's factually unsound to say that she's a good role model when she's smoking cigarettes at 17 years old and drinking underage.
She's also a phenomenal student at Sidwell French. She graduated.
She's not setting a good example for 18-year-old girls, where the Trump children are.
When that happened with the Bush girls...
I'm comparing President Obama and President Trump right now, so if we can leave it in that playing field, in that box.
Yeah, but President Trump...
In America that hunt for various reasons. I just met a friend here in Denver that said he would hunt food to eat it.
Food's different. I actually totally... Why did Michael go and make this? about this.
I was sitting on a secret and about, you know, something going on with a guy and a girl. And I told my guy friend, hey, your ex-girlfriend was messing around with your friend. And I shouldn't have done it because now the friend is so upset, creating a big stink. The relationship was already over, and now I feel guilty.
You became the bad person.
I should have just kept my darn mouth shut.
Tori, have you ever been in trouble for?
I'm still not, because I feel like I'm involved in some like 90210 drama.
Yeah.
Like a Real Housewives scenario that I just don't want to be a part of.
Nobody has the time for that.
Anybody got time for that?
Yep, and we're following a look.
Civil litigation, he could go to jail.
Absolutely. That's assault.
It is criminal.
Yeah.
And John Legend.
We're here. You guys go to Twitter. I'm going to be tweeting some behind the scenes stuff, maybe some final thoughts we didn't get out because we have a time constraints here. And just so you know, I'm Erin Elmore, ErinElmore on Twitter.
Okay.
You can also follow Jeff Schroeder, 23, Sam Schechter, Shocker as we call her here, right? Ebony Steele, Al Jackson, Tori Schulman, and Erica Kopp, all first names and last name other than Jeff, has a 23 after his.
And mine is SH. Maybe that's why no one's following me.
SH.
TRY.
And also Daily Blast Live. Yeah. So, all here, you can just see them. Look. Follow all of us and tweet us all, and let's ask each other some questions and get into some more heated debate behind the scenes. Here I go. Legally speaking, there are benefits of being married. Not only just income taxes. If you're in the hospital, especially when you're having babies, you know, there's certain decisions that need to be made in the best interest of the child. Or if a husband and a wife get sick, you can make certain very important life-saving decisions.
For the directive and things like that.
So there are benefits to being married.
Okay, well, let's get you two in on the next.
And then we decided right away to get married. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We were trying, but.
Now you have a 5-year-old.
Yeah, so it worked for us.
We are live. Digital producer Raquel Villanueva with news.
You know, you said that the Bush girls were doing gin and juice. Yeah, whatever, yeah, same thing. It's gin and tonic. Biden's son and daughter, who I know, were caught doing illegal drugs.
Yeah, but I'll be the first to admit it. When I was in high school, I did it all too. I mean, I
just came out from skiing in the Alps.
Oh my God, you guys, it smells so good. I know what it smells like. A strawberry shortcake doll from when we were growing up.
Oh,
the hair. Yeah. The hair of a strawberry shortcake doll.
Oh my God, I got the chills.
Ted Kennedy's deadly, very remorseful. In the movie, they paint him as not remorseful at all and just greedy with, you know, wanting to become president one day. Now in California. And they've been requesting to be placed together for years.
Not anymore. They were 18 and 20, I believe, in that range. And so they were basically adults at this point. And when they did this, well, they allegedly did this, there's a few things to consider. We're saying they might have been abused, which is horrible. Some could say that was just their...
They were convicted, though.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, good.
Guilty.
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
So I kind of lost my train of thought. Sorry. Yes, they were convicted. But I think this is their criminal defense lawyers' possibly way of being like, oh, they were abused to try to get off from these murders.
Although, I get that. You, as a lawyer, know that better than anyone.
Yeah. Only the kids saying it. They had no corroboration.
And there was no jury instruction on manslaughter, which is lower than murder.
And some of the jurors have come back later on saying, if I would have known that this horrific abuse happened, I would have seen the case completely differently.
Also,
parents, we got to move on to the next story. DBL Nation, we're heated about this. We want you to chime in. All right, we are switching gears here. Beyonce and Jay-Z. That's a
happier family.
It's a hard right. Yeah, Bey and Jay. Their daughter, Blue Ivy, has us buzzing today. Turns out the 6-year-old has a personal stylist. She also has a personal shopper, because why wouldn't she? Even from our DBL Nation, we're just under the hashtag, and people are lit up, saying that she's way too young to have a personal stylist and way too young to have a shopper, and that they're going to raise a spoiled brat. I'm not saying that, but people are saying
way too young. Adults don't even have stylists and shoppers.
I mean, at the end of the day, we all had our own personal stylist and shopper. We just called them different. It's
when she's 18 years old.
She's okay. It's all about sex on a plane. A new study of 12 buyers finds that 78% of people want to join the Mile High Club, but only 5% have actually done the deed. Before we dish, DBL Nation, we need you to weigh in on this. Are you a Mile High Club member?
Oh my!
All right, who's gonna start? Tori, you seem uncomfortable.
I think it's so gross.
Would you be in the moment to join that Mile High Club?
I try not to even go to the ladies' room on the plane.
Right.
I go before, go after. It's so dirty. The last thing on my mind is sex.
Who thinks that's sexy, being in that tube?
Dudes.
They'll just to a whole new meaning.
Yes, it does. Let's take a look at what DBL Nation has to say. They say 50.
Erin Elmore needs to be escorted out of the building.
Erin, I have a burning question for you. Why do you smell like strawberry shortcake?
Oh, what? The Rihanna, I forget what it's called. But isn't it gorgeous?
It is.
I just ordered it.
You look like you're ready for the runway or for the red carpet.
Fine. Well, I feel like it. And it just smells so good. And it's not sticky, literally. I could sell this product.
What's your favorite experience on DBL?
The people, like everyone is so kind and so supportive and so helpful and wonderful. It feels like a mini family. Like
it does.
And just one person is nicer than the next and has a good story or an anecdote or wants to help. It's just, best place ever. Literally.
Best place ever.
I'm gonna sneak in. I'm gonna keep my badge and be like, oh hey, I'm back.
All right, well bye guys.
She's the best. That's Jen. All right, I didn't even get through my tweet. I got so excited. Hold on. Daily Blast Live Nation. How do you feel about the Mile High Club?
All right, guys, 30 seconds.
Oh, 30 seconds and we're back. That's all I got for you.
You don't need Alan, Jeff. Just kidding. We love you guys. It's Female Friday up in here. Have a great live. It's Friday, and it's Female Friday here. Yes. Sorry, Alan, Jeff. Let's get right to it. Speaking of powerful females, former First Lady Michelle Obama.
My tax cut. Sorry. Obviously, you know my answer. President Trump. Look at his children, first of all. We know that Barack Obama was smoking cigarettes and smoking weed. President Trump's kids are not stumbling out of nightclubs. They don't have mugshots. Malia Obama was seen underage drinking, playing that beer ping pong game and smoking cigarettes. I mean, there's not even a contest here. Now, is there?
I mean, I think she was being a normal college student, and the thing about President...
Children of Trump's, though.
However, I will say, although they're not smoking or you haven't seen
Trump,
he's in his administration.
Wait, are we talking about the administration or are we talking about the kids?
What I'm saying is you owe
you $20 and a Big Mac that Donald Trump Jr. is not going to get in any trouble.
Okay. Well,
seen in a documentary living in Trump Tower under President Trump's roof when she was like 16, 17.
But that doesn't mean she was raised by him, just under.
Well, I'm just going by what President Trump himself had said.
When she came back, I told her.
So one and done is a good rule.
Yeah. My friend Jessica, hi Jess, I hope you're watching. She's probably not. She's working very hard. But she likes this boy, this man, and she's like, he did this and he did that. I said, wait a minute. I think you're being a little cuckoo here. He's done this right. He's a nice guy. She said, wait a minute. Whose side are you on? And then gets mad at me. But eventually, once she had time to cool down and think, she realized Erin's here to give me the right advice.
But would you do it again?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how we will tell our girlfriends about what they need to do, but guys, I'm not going to generalize, but more times than not.
That Prince Harry looks pretty cute in there. Doesn't he look like Justin Timberlake?
He does.
He did kind of.
It seems cheesy. I'm not a Lifetime person.
The cheesier, the better.
Prince any way she could.
I don't know if that's true.
No, I think he's head over heels for her. Yeah.
I think it's a scam.
We will talk in the break about this one.
Yeah, stay tuned. Okay, we're following a developing story right now about UFC fighter Conor McGregor. As you can see here, he was this guy is justifying it, and he's not remorseful.
Wow. And he's going to face a lot of lawsuits, which means money out of his pocket. And by the way, he could go to jail for this.
Oh, yeah, it's criminal.
Yeah.
We are live. Let's get right to digital producer Kelly Schuberth because
stuff a lot. And what you notice is that the headlines are tied to the stock market, and it's a lot of volatility, but it doesn't usually last for very long.
But if we have a tariff war with China, it's going to continue to plummet. That's what just makes me nervous.
Got to follow the headlines.
Right.
Do it. You know me. You could have
do
just
for you. So I don't know what. I know. Look at the shimmer. We're still obsessing over this. I think this John Legend song is good. I'm going to see what DBL Nation thinks.
I like it too. And guys, I have a question here. Is there any song that doesn't start with like "It's gonna be a good night"? Like what's that song of Black Eyed Peas?
Tonight's gonna be a
good night. Like I'm excited. They're telling me it's gonna be
the rhythm, but it's okay.
Okay. So I'm like tonight is going to be a good night. A good night.
Some white girl.
Some white girl.
We're doing the white girl.
My mother used to turn everything into like.
Even though Christy Teigen and I don't get along politically, it's okay.
Oh, there you go. You like to dance to it? All right. Charles McGee is saying, I like one and done. Thanks, Ebony. Standing up for what's right. However, we also have is that Burnett. I enjoyed the show until she showed up. We go back and forth on this show.
That's a good thing.
It's
I
a
have
great thing.
thick skin.
She does, and it looks glowy, which we'll talk about later. Ronald Cerny
Till
says
that Rubik's
Dems and
showed up.
Republicans are the cancer eating the core of this country's prosperity. Vote different. Vote Libertarian or
Doesn't work,
Green
though.
or anything but D or R. And she and I could not be more on farther sides, but we both agree on this. It doesn't
work.
It's very
this
difficult.
This is a two-party system we live in.
And if you want to make a third party, we've got to really niche it out, because right now you're just going to take one from the other.
But there's a new movie coming out about the swamp, they're calling it, and it's just saying how whether you're Democrat or Republican, it's like they don't want any new blood anyway. They both agree on that.
Interesting.
It's really, really, really sketchy up in there, no matter what side you're on. The whole place is a swamp.
You know it's a real swamp, DC. We're built
in it together to back up her comment
It's just
there.
whether or
not
not they
married.
should go the extra mile and get the.
And to be
ring on
honest,
it.
the marriage, the divorce rate is over 50%. How much is that?
It does help to be married in terms of making decisions in hospitals and filing income taxes and things like that.
Right. And Cindy Mullins writes,
Because it can start something that can be generated.
Were with a partner for 50 years, and that person was in the hospital, and they were dying. You had
it's a human rights issue.
and to be honest, my
He
best.
deserves to be as miserable as married people. I'm kidding.
Your husband may be watching. We are live. Digital producer Raquel Villanueva with news at the moment.
Right now.
Thank God it's your last day on Daily Blast Live. Otherwise, oh, by the way, thank you, Susan Smith. Thank God it's your last day on Daily Blast Live. Otherwise, I would have to give up the show for good. My first post ever, but feel strongly about it. Go back to Fox News. Thank you, Susan. I'll see you next week back here on Daily Blast Live. They decided to keep me around. I'm kidding. Heartwarming.
But yeah, and what's great about it on DBL2,
Factual piece of history.
They are. They're saying that this is a tell-all. A tell-all.
Well, as long as you have certain resources to back it up, I think you can say anything. And the other issue now is not to get too legal schmeagle, but every one of these people in the movie are public figures, and the standard to even bother with slander and libel is just... But you were saying something about Ted Kennedy's legacy. He was in the Senate for
well, he was the lion of the Senate.
He died a revered and respected man in spite of all of this, and there were allegations.
Well, he's very remorseful, and I think that does help. It does when you have somebody that doesn't just
remorseful.
In the movie, they're painting it that he was not remorseful. In real life, many people have come forward and there's even documentation of it.
He was drinking. We don't know for sure, but there were allegations on the night of this incident that he was inebriated. So this is not really a good look.
Right. And I just say, when we look at this from people that may be,
I would tend to think so. What does she have to look forward to on her 21st birthday? What's going to be the dangling carrot or the incentive for her to get a job and work 9 to 5?
She knew Ivy. But she can still do that. That doesn't mean that I'm
saying the dangling carrot. What is going to be her inspiration to work hard? You're getting up early and staying at work late and busting your hump.
Hustle comes from you want to be able to provide for yourself, but if you're already being provided for.
I was provided for, and I worked my tushy off at an ice cream. I disagree. Well, maybe I know.
Go ahead.
Digital producer Raquel Villanueva with news at the moment.
Not really. I was lucky.
Oh, it's the worst.
That's why I'm not pregnant. I'm so scared.
You got a flu. I had a flu for about 14 weeks, it feels like.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Girls make you sick. Like they say, no one can make you sick like your daughter.
Because it's the double estrogen.
Yeah.
That's what they say. I don't know if it's proven.
If I get pregnant at this age, I'm going to sit like this for 9 months.
Eating French fries for like 9 months straight.
I'm not moving.
Well, I'll do it because of that.
Yeah. Blouse like this, what am I supposed to do? Take it to the dry cleaner?
Yeah. Who has the time for this? Also,
people said they want to have sex on a plane. That means 78% of people haven't ever been on an airplane. Because it is disgusting. It is the grossest place on earth.
Ebony, you seem awfully quiet over there.
Oh, Ebony, I can see Ebony being freaky deaky in the friendly sky. The question:
do you think if Jeff and Al were here that they would be all about like, yeah, I want to join the Mile High Club?
No, Jeff is doing it right now.
Al would just sit there and look like this.
Yeah, that's
and DBL Nation 60.
You don't see them stumbling out of nightclubs drunk. You don't see them with mugshots. However, you have seen Malia Obama illegally drinking underage, playing beer pong, and smoking cigarettes under the age of 18. I don't think that's necessarily role model behavior.
Well, first of all, let me just chime in because you're trying to disparage her, and I would like.
He doesn't like a lot of paperwork. He likes it to kind of go off the cuff. I don't think
the Obama administration that you would have liked to see differently.
Actually, I voted for Barack Obama twice.
Okay.
I'm a new conservative because when I voted for Barack Obama twice, I signed up for hope and dreams, and all I got was more IRS agents. Again, so let's just leave it at that.
And we'll just note that Ivana Trump did write a book saying that she actually was the one to parent the children, and Donald Trump actually
anymore.
Well, Well, what's interesting, just to bring in, no idea, so therefore proving her point. So there's an interesting take on here that when you have a lawyer, and I know you know this because you are one, you tell your client, stop talking. That's what we want him to do.
And I think we've all felt like that before. Have you guys ever had a time when you said something and you just like, you will just take it back in and you're like, I shouldn't have said that.
Well, my favorite one, and said to a woman once, oh my gosh, you're expecting a baby soon.
No. Oh, that's the
She
worst.
wasn't even pregnant.
Oh,
and I just watched it like a slow motion car accident. I was like, no.
Don't do it. She's bloated.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said, but for him, he's like, I just kept talking. So I thought if I could just change the subject, keep on talking.
Totally.
Right. Yeah, that's never the move.
No.
Never the move.
Even if they're 9 months pregnant, just be like, oh.
You know, thank you, Ebony, for being a good friend and a real friend and telling me the truth.
I think it was understood. You know, it was understood.
I think for most powerful men, it always comes down to a woman.
But he looks hot. He looks like Justin Timberlake in the movie. I'm kind of into it.
I don't get Lifetime movies. Are you ever just like, oh, come on?
Right.
If you want to own a piece of Russell Crowe's past, we'll tell you how. Plus, The Secret, gross out.
And I did. We got married. So it was a decision we made.
Do you feel strongly, I know we have differing views, but do you feel strongly you need to have a marriage to have a child?
You know, I think more of it in terms of the legal perspective on it. There's certain decisions that need to be made in the hospital when you're having children that are easier to make when you're married. And let's say your partner, aka your spouse, is ill. You need to make certain medical decisions for them, also for income tax purposes.
But like,
so there's
morally, what do you think morally?
Sheesh. I mean, I did it. That's all I know. I think it's important to be married, but we got to realize divorce statistics are through the roof. Over 50% of couples get divorced. So,
Very true. Well, Rhonda Gray writes, marriage is just a legal contract. If they don't feel they need a contract, it's their business and nobody else's.
Yeah, you're seeing that.
For the last 7 years, part-time, I get to go in there. I'm their travel expert, so I would sell luggage and travel handbags.
What? That's like my dream job.
That is their dream.
Have you guys don't know who this is?
No.
This is Jure. Jure is our makeup artist.
For 10 hours because he was nervous or possibly intoxicated. There are some allegations that he was drinking.
And the Kopechne family is actually saying if you know any more information. Yes. Where did it happen to her?
Yeah.
Way up, and I was given things like if I went to a store or we had a stylist,
and they grow up, they don't have a big work ethic.
I just think I think that's a generalization. I do hear that is
to look forward to. I would think that I would raise my blue ivy to be even greater than I am.
Yeah, that's how I picture this for kids, children.
For kids, okay, yeah.
Especially babies don't have the immunity yet.
Sure.
So when you have a baby, you have to wash everything in a special kind of detergent. Even
is everybody doing that though?
Yeah, for babies,
people washing baby clothes.
Everybody does. Yes.
Wow, okay.
Oh, wow.
That's like a known thing. You read about it on like mom blogs and things you don't know. It's like the manual to having a kid.
And I guess sometimes when I try things,
you can fit in the bathroom with 2 people.
I agree.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the study said 78% of people want to do it. That means 78% of people haven't been on an airplane because they don't know how disgusting.
It's that frequent flyer.
Yeah. What are you looking at, Ev?
Oh, no, I was just thinking about like if you've ever looked under the...
Right. She is our pop culture guru. She can find everything, even the most obsolete facts in history, but never her cell phone. It's Miss Tori Shulman. And to my left, she's our legal eagle guest co-host for the week. She leans to the right, although I seldom think she is. I love her anyway. It's Miss Erin Elmore. All right, and all of you, of course, the viewers at home. So play along. Go to dblvote.com and tap Vote Now. Questions will appear on your device. And the winning viewer will win a DBL hashtag Genius Teaching. Number 1, clean fight. Clean fight. Andy Cohen reveals which Real Housewives franchise is his favorite. Is it A, New York, B, Orange County, or C, Atlanta?
That was you. You can have
Tori Shulman. I'm going to go with New York. New York is correct. The Real Housewives of New York is in its 10th season and was the second city featured in the franchise world. B, Jersey Shore, or C, The Hills. Erin Elmore.
The Jersey Shore.
The Jersey Shore is correct. It's tied 1-1. Here we go. Question number 3. Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan met on the set of which movie? Was it A, Step Up, B, Save the Last Dance, or C, Stomp the Yard? Tori Shulman.
I'm going to need to get up here, so it's a Step Up.
Step Up is correct. The couple announced their separation. Which rapper is David Letterman's next guest on his Netflix series? Is it A, Kendrick Lamar, B, Jay-Z, or C, Drake? Erin Elmore.
That's just a guess. I'm going with Kendrick Lamar.
incorrect. The correct answer is Jay-Z. Tori's in the lead 2-1, but Erin, you can tie.
Come on now.
Meghan Markle aspires to be like which royal family member? A, Princess Diana, B, Queen Elizabeth, or C, Kate Middleton?
That was her. Thank you.
Erin Elmore.
Diana.
Princess Diana is correct. In an interview, Prince Harry said Meghan and Princess Diana would be best friends. Here is the tiebreaker question. It's the closest without going over.
Okay.
Going over.
So we don't have to ring, right?
How old was Princess Diana when she married Prince Charles?
Oh, she was young. Oh,
Wait, do we have to do this? We're going.
I'm going to say 22.
Erin?
Well, wait, let me think about this because you don't want to go over, but if I'm closer, I'm going to say 24.
Okay, it was 20, so Tori gets it. Hello. Apparently we're not on another game show. More importantly, viewer number 8195 wins the hashtag Genius t-shirt. And thank you all at home for playing. We are live. Digital producer Raquel via at least one funny moment. Let's see what it is.
Oh, Erica, I'm not letting you get away without doing your Friday dance right now.
Do it.
Keep the camera on, Erica. Do it. Do it. Do it.
That's what we said.
You know me. You could have just asked one. It's Friday. I don't need to be baited.
Right. No, up what's right. And Bob Tavera says, great comeback story. We also have a viewer from Italy.
Erin Elmore, our legal strategist, political pundit. Girl, you absolutely held your own. We